Close after in a slow night. Never lost truth, I'd like to feel alive. Don't not a damn party and a something straight on.
Welcome guys to the Wrestling Renaissance Rants. And in today's episode, we are going to be going over AEW Full Gear, TNA Turning Point, and WWE Survivor Series War Games. It is currently December. We are in the in the month of Christmas. So even though you won't be able to really see it, you can see it's kind of there, it's kind of half invisible. But I got some elf hat with some bells. I also got a haircut, so yay. I recently got a job as a custom guard. So right after this, I have to go straight to my area. So I saw some stuff from that. I didn't want to take everything off. So we're going to be going over the 3 pay-per-view/PLEs. We have a rumor going to go over a segment that happened, and then we have 3 questions that I'm going to ask. Give you guys some time, like a few seconds like that to kind of think of the answer, and I'm gonna go over and give kind of my answers. Some of them might not be full, but I'm gonna try to give as much as I can to also give more than just telling you guys results. But I like to get the results out of the way first. So with AEW Full Gear, we have Anna Jay defeats Deonna Purrazzo. We have Buddy Matthews wins a fatal 4-way. Big Boom AJ defeats QT Marshall. Private Party retains in a 4-way tag match. MGF defeats Roderick Strong. Monet retains against Chris Statlander. Jay Wright defeats Adam Page. Kyle Fletcher defeats Will Ospreay. Daniel Garcia defeats Jack Perry and wins the TNT title. Konosuke retains against Ricochet. Bobby Lashley defeats Swerve Strickland. And John Moxley retains against Orange Cassidy. Then we have TNA Turning Point. We have Rosemary wins a 3-way. Mike Santana defeats Frankie Kazarian. Joe Hendry wins a 6-way Thanksgiving Bowl match. Brian Myers is forced to wear a turkey suit. Moose retains against Rorado Kid. Steve Macklin defeats Josh Alexander. The Hardys win a 6-man tag match with Ace Austin. Masha Stanovich retains against Jordan Grace. Nick Nemeth retains against Eddie Edwards. Then on WWE Survivor Series, we have Team Rhea beats Team Liv. Shinsuke Nakamura wins the U.S. title against LA Knight. Braun Breaker retains in a triple threat. Gunther retains against Damian Priest. And Team Roman defeats Bloodline 2.0. Then we have our now rumors. We have just finished our results. So the only rumor I was able to get, because I did this very last minute, was Bronson Reed seems to have broken his ankle during Survivor Series or games. And he was out from Raw, and we don't know how. It seems like he's trying to get he's trying to get checkups on it, so we do not know if he'll be back or if he'll be out for some time. We can hope he can come back with before Christmas, so he can be able to be there for the Christmas specials and all of that. But there is a chance that he won't be back until at least 2025. But let's just hope he can get a speedy recovery to be able to be back and be able to be part of Raw again. Then we have a segment. I watched this segment, and I'm pretty sure every single person had an idea of what was going to happen. Did not think this was going to happen. New Day turned on Big E. Big E returns on Raw slash Raw and SmackDown. He's not been on a Raw or SmackDown in so long. He's been on pay-per-view pre-shows, but he has not been on Raw or SmackDown in a long time. He is finally back on TV. We could have seen him as a manager, and a New Day turns on him. Both reuniting again under one same enemy of Big E. Officially kicking him out and saying that they no longer need him. Blaming him for not coming back after breaking his neck. One of the hardest things to watch was that segment. I actually would have loved to see a Big E manager. I've said this for years, that Big E should still do a manager type role, because even if he can't wrestle, Big E can still be there. And I thought that was always the idea that should have happened. And I thought we were finally getting, after all these years, just for them to have a turning angle against them. And that's going to actually kind of be part of a question that I'll be bringing up, which is actually what we're on to next. Is that question is, are storylines becoming too predictable, or is there still room to innovate? And that segment is a huge thing for that question, because for months we have been basically saying, a lot of people have been saying, that the storylines are becoming predictable. We basically know who's going to probably win. We kind of know all the things going on. We can see things from a mile away of what we think is going to happen, and it usually keeps happening, and it's really predictable. And then all of these weeks leading up, everyone fell for the trap of the New Day breaking Xavier Woods or Kofi turning heel against the other and spreading up. We were tricked going in that path, and then they did full change after they rolled us right into that 10-year anniversary trap of making them actually come together and turn on Big E. No one expected that. That was one of the biggest parts of the storyline out of nowhere. That could have never been predicted. I don't think anyone predicted that Big E was gonna come back and that any of that was gonna happen. Even when we were watching, I saw over social media how people were like, "Oh, we're gonna be ready for Heartbroken because we don't know, because one of them's gonna turn and we're gonna see all that." Did not think that they were both gonna turn on Big E. No one even thought Big E was gonna come out for that. That segment threw away predictability, and I'm hoping because of that segment, we're gonna see more unpredictableness. Though I think what would be good is, since we were just so off guard by that we're gonna start overanalyzing all these other storylines, but we're gonna start thinking of the unpredictable, and then whatever was used to be predictable is no longer predictable because we're predicting everything else but that. So now they can be able to go back and forth, and it's no longer predictable. That was, I think, one of the smartest ways to do a segment in the modern era, and for the Triple H era. That was a huge thing. And I would love to see more of this unpredictableness. See these more crazy ideas that everyone thought wasn't going to be possible or wasn't going to happen, and then make it happen. And now we're going to be going on to the next question. Which wrestlers have completely reinvented themselves and found success? So this question, I think I want to do in the modern era. Who are current wrestlers who have reinvented that still in WWE? The reason why I want to say just WWE right now, because I know some of the people with TNA, but I don't know all of them, or if they had past characters before, as well as AEW. But because I've been on WWE for so long, I think most of the guys in WWE and who they used to be for how long I've been watching, because most of you guys have been within the past 10 years. I know if they've changed or not, or if they kept the same type of character. Someone that has been reinvented who reinvented themselves. So what I'm thinking of going by this is not someone that had success, then was dwindling, and they reinvented and then started going back up again. What I want to go by is who is someone that didn't have a lot going on, who wasn't as successful, and then they changed and then became successful. So they weren't really as known until after they changed. Someone that's not alive anymore, rest in peace. But he's a good example. Is Bray Wyatt. He was Husky Harris. Husky Harris. Not many people knew much about him, other than I think he was a Nexus. Not a lot of people knew him until he became Bray Wyatt, and he became very, very successful after that. But he wasn't really as big when he was Husky Harris. And that's the kind of example I'm looking for. But out of someone that's modern, someone that's currently in WWE, and you guys might know more TNA and AEW guys. You guys could put down in the comments on YouTube, or even at me on Twitter, at RangerFud, or RangerFud IT. You also do my Bruce guy, which is just RangerFud. You guys can at me about my say about podcasts with the question. So at my thing with the question from a podcast, and then your answers. And you guys can say AEW guys, TNA guys, that you guys know who are currently in those and who have reinvented them. You can even say it's someone that's from WWE and didn't do as well, and then they jumped over, had a new name and everything, and and became big in AEW. Same thing for going to TNA. That counts. I may not know that. I personally might not think that, but you guys might know people, and you guys can put it in, and I would love to see what you guys say. And once we start getting more interactions, we're getting more people, I will actually write down on my notebook a whole thing of past questions that were asked with your guys' username, because I will be trying to share this stuff. Your guys' username with your answers, so I can go over what you guys have done. So back to the question of which wrestlers have completely reinvented themselves and found success. Out of modern, not Pete Dunne, because he was Pete Dunne, then Butch, and Butch didn't work out, and then he became Pete Dunne again. He was already Pete Dunne, he was already big. I can look at name changes, because that's the main one. Because Roman Reigns, he was already success when he had the Shield. And then he became the Big Dog, and then he became Tribal Chief. But he already had success as the Shield. So that doesn't count. I'm pretty sure LA Knight was LA Knight in NXT, and then became Max Dupree when he came up to the main roster, and then became LA Knight again. But I'm pretty sure he was already LA Knight in NXT, so that doesn't count. This is actually a good one, because I did not write down anything this before, so I can actually talk and actually think about it on podcast. Like, the actual idea is coming out, so this actually is not like a 5-minute thing that's like pointless to listen to. You guys can, I really wish there was a way to do like a live of this and actually be able to answer questions, but I don't have enough people that watch to watch it, then be able to have a person to watch live, to see chat and answer and see what your guys' ideas are live. Okay, Io Sky, because she was Io Shirai. I don't think she had anything before. I don't think she had anything. She might have been NXT champion. I don't remember. I don't know. Actually, I don't think she was. I don't think she had anything as Io Shirai. And then she became Io Sky and she won the world title. So I'm going to say Io Sky as one of them. But I'm going to want to get another one that I can confirm. Because I don't know if Io Shirai had a lot of success in NXT before she was released. Because Resang released a lot of people that were successful, but they released them anyway. So I don't really consider I can't really say just because they're released. I'm trying to find someone who was, in NXT or on the main roster who changed their name but didn't really have success beforehand. Who else is... It also has gimmicks, but they usually keep the same name. Sarah Logan? is she really finding success at this point? I don't think she's really. I think she's still in this basically the same area she was at Sarah Logan, but now she's just Valhalla. What? She's basically still been in the same point of not really going anywhere. She's still really low card. Nothing has happened. So there's really no success in the first place. This is a really good question. I have to basically like look down a list of people. Gunther. Wait. He was Walter. How? I guess he was NXT UK, which doesn't really count. I mean, the same thing could be said for Alba Fire. Not Alba Fire. Sorry. That's not Alba Fire. What is her name? It was Kaylee. It was Kaylee. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember her old name. Wow. DC Dane? No. Is that Alba Fire that was? It's Alba Fire because Isle Dawn's the other one. Yeah, it's Alba Fire. Alba Fire. No, that doesn't count because I think I want to stick with the Gunther one. Because I don't think, because Kaylee had the longest women's championship run ever. She had it on NXT UK, and because of COVID, they kept counting it even though they didn't have episodes. So she had it for like 600 and something days, which is longer than Asuka's, but Asuka's actually had it continuously. But that still counts as an achievement, which put her really high up because she still considered the longest, which means she had success before becoming Alba Fire. But Walter, he might have had a championship, but it wasn't a long one. And I don't think, unless he was the longest NXT UK men's champion. I do not know that, but I don't think he had much things until he became Gunther. Especially with his IC title run of 600 days. Or 600 days. I think I'll go with Gunther. It's between Gunther, as I said, it's between Gunther and Io Sky. And then we have our last question, is does breaking kayfabe on social platforms hurt the industry? And now this is another really good question. I was bringing up this question to my father, and he said, yes, this does hurt business. And I can see why that makes sense. Because one of my favorite people that I like seeing on Twitter, I don't really use Twitter as much anymore. It's literally just kind of, I'll just check it to see about updates and stuff about my game, the games I play. But the main thing, one of the people I like to see randomly in on my For You page is Karrion Kross, because him, Dijak, they keep kayfabe alive, because they, even on social media, they do a lot of posts, they do a lot of cryptic messages, they actually will talk with viewers and fans, and basically make it all part of his character, and I really love that, and it's really nice. But like, if someone if you have if you're a baby face, you're supposed to be a really good baby face, and you're a very rude person, or you just say some of the most outlandish things online, that says a lot about you, and it hurts the business and hurts your character. Because it will hurt you, because people will turn on you for being either a bad person or being unprofessional. But it also hurts a business because now it's now the business has to choose, do they want to do anything, because the people, there are going to be people out there that will actually do something about it, which can then lead down to internal affairs and can really mess with industry, can mess with a person's chances of being hired anywhere else, might give a chance where they might get released. It starts having a lot of things by what you say and do online, which is why a lot of times you should keep with your character that you're portraying. So then nothing that you say is taken out of context, or nothing you say can really be used against you, because what you're doing is you're doing it based on your character. If you're a heel, there are certain things you shouldn't say, but you can still do trolling type stuff, or say things that isn't bad, but you can say like something that's like a mean thing or there, but only the people that are in like your comments and stuff, like people that are actually a part of it there, and not just some random person. If you're going around and doing things to people that are not even really involved with you, now you're stepping out of your area and you're stepping out of bounds. And that puts a bad light to you in the industry. And it can really hurt from the places people work and all that different stuff. So, I think breaking KP on social platforms does hurt the industry. So, those were the results, the rumors, and good questions to see what you guys and what I think and know about wrestling. So if you guys would like to actually suggest questions I go over in the next podcast, which will be unless they do like a day one, which I don't think they're doing, I think this next wrestling podcast will be in February, so it'll be right after Royal Rumble. But if there's another PLE in January that they do, or they do like a full-on week special, then maybe I'll do one the week after that, like tonight's did last year. But if they don't, the next podcast will be in February. So that gives you about 2 months. You guys can come up with some good questions, which you can, as I said before, you can at me on Twitter at RangerfootYT, on Bruce Guy at BSky Rangerfoot, or on the YouTube video of this podcast on Ranger Club Podcast, or my Discord, which I think is in the description. If not, it's in every other description of my other channels. So you guys can also go there for them. But I'll try to make sure I do have my podcast in the description if I did forget. So, thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.
We're on my